welcome to the American Sports Connection. I'm your host, the one and only Joey Railroads. I'm here with my buddy Rygal. How you holding up, dude?
Chilling, man. How you doing today?
Good. We finally got rid of all the damn snow down here.
We're supposed to have more snow tomorrow, I thought, bro.
I had heard rumblings about it. I don't. Is it gonna be up your way?
I don't know. That's what people have been talking about. I'm actually gonna check.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to check that out.
It looks like tomorrow is snow and rain.
Okay.
So, I mean, a lot of shit melted today, so that was good. Thankfully.
Yeah,
But
it was nice
it's
and
all ice
warm
by
and
me.
sunny here. At least for once. But before we get started with Raw and all that good stuff, we actually have something that's kind of broke in the last.
Yeah, Paige is a whore.
The last
Good,
what,
I mean,
like
not
8
that I
hours or
have-
so.
Yeah, not that I have a problem with that, but I mean, like, look, somebody's leaking a whole bunch of pictures and now videos of Paige, which I believe is up to, I want to say 4 or 5 videos now.
But
yeah.
like you had said, Ragal, I think this is like one of the other Hollywood leaks that came out. What was it, like 2 years ago?
3 years ago, yeah, the fappening. But yeah, I don't know if this is tied into that, but yeah, there's a lot of videos of her being released and a lot more that are being talked about being released. So yeah, I mean, like, I have mixed feelings on, it's like, okay, well, she's hot, but I don't know. I wouldn't want my naked pictures put out there.
I feel bad for her because I want to say it that it's in the sense of being young and dumb, but it's to another extent because of, and you'll agree with me when I say this, when we were growing up, we didn't have like the access to like
I took naked Polaroids. What are you talking about?
I was gonna
always
say the
nude pictures.
access to like social media. We didn't have that back then.
No, but you had floppy disks because, I mean, like, I know even when I was in high school, like, there were people who had nude pictures. It just, you had to take it on a webcam and send it on AOL.
Yeah.
So, I mean, like, I think this has been around as long as we've had the technology. I just think it becomes easier nowadays, but, I mean, these people are grown up into it, so they don't know a life without it. Keep in mind how young she is.
Yeah.
Well, there's a good chance, so, I mean, like, I don't think they I don't know. I don't think people realize it.
Now,
Like how quickly things can go out there.
yeah.
And I think even if people do, I think they trust technology a little bit too much.
Right. I can agree with that. Now, do you think, I've thought about this, but do you think this costs Paige her job?
I don't know. I don't know because, I mean, it's not like there's a difference between going out there and making porn and having, I mean, like, I don't think it's part of WWE's policy not to be intimate. You know what I mean? Like, they're human beings. They
Right.
have
Plus, I was
a
going to
whole
say
show
Seth
talking
Rollins had
about,
his
like,
own unfortunate incident, but obviously not to this degree. But still, he had.
I don't know if they could. I don't know if they legally could be fired because of it, unless it's something specifically in their
Like
contract.
if there's like a clause in her contract or something.
I mean, because if she's getting hacked, I mean, what's she gonna be fired for? For having these pictures? For having pictures with like, say that wasn't another wrestler. Say like her significant other was just was you, and some videos of you and her leaked. Should she lose her job because of what she does with her real life boyfriend? Because some asshole leaked it. I don't think she's gonna lose her job.
Right.
I mean,
Lance said that this video has been out for months. He said
This
when
video's
he had
existed
heard of
for
her
years.
suspension initially, the 60 days, he thought that was the reason.
No, this without saying too much, this video I can confirm firsthand has been around circulating for 2 years. I can say that without a shadow of a doubt. 2 years this has been in people's possession, and it's been passed around. Why it's being released now? Somebody must have gotten their hands on the whole cache of pictures
Yeah.
because these are from her days in FCW. These are 3, 4, 5 years old, and I can tell you for 100%. Maybe some of the other ones aren't, but the ones with her and Maddox, 100% are.
Yes.
There's no doubt. That's from when she was in FCW. But I don't think it has anything to do with her suspension. I don't think they legally could do that.
Yeah, I can agree with that. And the more I've thought about it, it's like if Seth Rollins can have like something similar happen to him, I mean, obviously not on the same scale, but and he became world champion at
But he's a
WrestleMania
guy,
like a couple
so
months
I mean,
later.
there are different standards. He's a guy.
I know. But
But I see what you mean. I mean, he was caught having an affair, and his pictures were leaked. And he
right,
didn't get
which
fired.
is, yeah, it's kind of I don't know, like
No, you can
trashy
actually
or whatever you wanna call
argue.
it.
No, you can actually argue that that was partially his fault that the pictures got released.
Yes.
You can't do that with her.
No, because she's even gone out on Twitter and said that that stuff was illegally obtained, and she didn't consent to that. Yeah, like Dino said, Shawn Michaels post in Playgirl.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, it's. Look, I mean, I think, of course, I was letting people know that the videos existed and stuff, but if I had come across it, I would never be the one to be like, let's put this on the internet. I mean, it's just, I really wouldn't want it done to me. There was times where I had people threaten to send out pictures that I had sent to people, and yeah, it was slightly embarrassing.
Oh,
It's
absolutely.
what I thought was being sent, in privacy, was going to become a thing to like besmirch my name. It's just a matter of like how she handles it. Now you're making me guilty for like whacking off 75 times. I'm kidding. But no, it's just been interesting because there's been a lot happening on that front the last couple of days. So I mean, it's like, look, let the moral of the story know that don't trust technology. Not just your with naked pictures. Just don't be so reliant on technology, especially if you don't understand it. If you're not a
Exactly.
professional, don't assume that you're going to be good because you bought something that should be safe. So,
Like Dino just said, 2 words, Kelly Kelly.
oh, absolutely. I mean, but like I've heard rumblings that there are more pictures. I've heard. Was it you who told me that there could be pictures of JoJo as well?
Yes, I've heard that story for about a year as well.
Yeah, but go ahead.
I was going to say that there's either video and photos or both of her doing things with Brad Maddox.
Brad Maddox is a pimp. That's all I gotta say.
Yeah.
But like, look, they were involved in a relationship. Like, if that was my fiance, I'd be fucking furious. Like, if somebody went and released that, even if they were filmed in, like she knew that it was being filmed, it's really not meant, to be shared around. So, I mean, I can understand that. But it's also a natural thing. Like, it's stuff that we all do. And if you haven't had sex, I don't really know what else to say. I mean, like, I'm not judging, but it's like, it's part of life. Animals have sex. So,
Yeah.
should she be fired? Absolutely not. Should she be more careful with stuff? Absolutely.
Right. Like Dino said, Kelly Kelly went down more times than a Swamp People episode.
Oh, her and Melina. Like,
Yes,
that was
Melina
like
as
a running
well.
joke.
The whole Dave Batista thing.
Yep, and then it was like that's why they did that angle on fucking Raw or
Yes.
SmackDown.
I remember that.
Yep. It's
All right. Well, we had to talk about that a little bit because that's been the news of the day, I guess you would call it.
I mean, like, as terrible as this is gonna sound, it's the most exciting thing that's come out of WWE in the last couple of weeks, and we're on the road to WrestleMania, so that says a lot.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. Because we're, what, 2 weeks away, I think?
Yeah, see, but I would just be very careful of who I hear things from because before one of the videos was released, I heard from multiple sources that there was one with her and Big E, and it turned out to be Xavier Woods. So
Yeah, that
I
was
just
shocking.
maybe just to whoever it was, maybe all black people look alike. So I just be very careful. Like instead of it being JoJo, like it's gonna be some completely other black person. So
Yeah, you never know. You won't know until whatever these people think they have comes out, or if it ever comes out.
yeah, well. It is what it is. Just be careful with your naked pictures. As a matter of fact, if there's any ladies out there and you got naked pictures, send them to me, and I'll make sure that they don't ever fall into the wrong hands.
You'll get a whole external hard drive for it.
Absolutely. Dino, please don't send me any naked pictures. I love you, bro, but
That's funny. All right.
unless you're with Paige, then you can send me all the naked pictures.
Yeah, there you go. All right, now Monday Night Raw this week. What were your thoughts on Raw?
Um, I watched it, and that should tell you all that you need to know. We're 2 weeks away from Mania. I'm not really hyped for anything.
Nope.
I can't remember a single thing from Raw.
The one thing that I could tell you I enjoyed was the closing segment.
That's weird. Like, I mean, like, do you notice that both closing segments had to do with McMahon children?
Yes.
I mean, I think this is the way that they're gonna write off Foley for a while. Because he
Yeah.
needs to go get his hip surgery.
It makes sense. Because he really can't, do anything anymore that I'm aware of.
No, he can't do shit. He's useless.
The one other thing I remember from Raw is Sami Zayn might have hurt himself.
I mean, is that legit, or is that like another, like,
I don't know.
Sami Zayn selling so much that we really get upset, and it turns out he's just, like, the best seller in the company?
Yeah, I'm not sure. That's really the one thing that I remembered. I was like, wow, he kind of landed really funny on his knee.
What do you think they're gonna do with Triple H and Rollins for Mania? At this point, it looks like he's cleared.
Yeah.
Do you think they're gonna end up being able to put a match together in a week?
Ugh. I don't know.
See, the only thing they have going is the fact that it's not a brand new storyline.
Yeah, that it's been going, since, August?
They could technically say that this has been going on since he was first injured.
Yeah. Since Survivor Series the previous year.
Yeah, so I mean, like, depending on how they do it, it could be done, a number of ways, so.
Right. I'm really trying to think, and that goes to show you how exciting Raw was.
Yeah. Oh, that fucking website is under heavy load at the moment. The one you kept refreshing?
Oh, yes.
I guess somebody finally shared it.
That's funny. Dino said, loser shaves his beard off. Dear me, bat facial hair.
For what?
I'm assuming he means Rollins and Triple H.
Oh, Triple H, yeah. Yeah, I don't know if I'm hyped for it, because I don't know if I get hyped for Triple H video, for Triple H matches in here anymore.
Yeah. Oh, that's the one other thing I remember now was Dana turning on Charlotte.
Yeah, but see, I think that was just, delayed a long time coming.
Yeah. And she actually got a little pop when she did do it.
Well, I think that Charlotte is that disliked.
Yeah, that's what I thought. I didn't think it was more so them liking Dana, but more them hating Charlotte.
Yeah, I mean, if done right, people can get behind just about anybody but Roman.
Yeah. Yeah, now you just reminded me. That was a weird segment with him and Shawn Michaels.
Yeah, I mean, I guess with Shawn working for the company and wrestling Taker twice, I can understand it. You know, but they did the same thing when Triple H fought Undertaker.
Right.
Had him come out.
To
And,
be perfectly honest with you, I thought when I saw him, what is he out to promote?
certainly not his fucking Jesus movie that everybody booed.
Yeah, I heard that was like really awful, that movie.
No, but even when he was there talking about God, the people in the audience were just booing the shit out of him.
Oh, wow. That's pretty hardcore then.
Yeah, you don't remember that when he was there? The fucking
No.
when he was talking about, God and stuff, people were booing the shit out of him.
Wow.
Wrestling fans aren't really like strong religious type.
Or they don't want to hear it.
Mix it, yeah. I mean, I'm not saying that wrestling fans aren't Christian or Catholic or whatever, but it's not something that we typically want in our
I know,
our
in your
entertainment.
show.
Yeah, it's
Like Lance said, HBK coming out and saying that I'm for you, Roman, when what the fuck? HBK is Taker's buddy.
yeah, I mean, if they don't turn him heel, this is just the biggest waste.
Yes.
Like, if they're gonna somehow, like, even if fucking Undertaker wins and Roman stays babyface, that's as bad, in my opinion.
Yeah, they're doing him a disservice.
Yeah, I think the longer he's a good guy, the longer it's gonna take for him to like be a superstar. I think he could be a major babyface. I do. I truly do. I think he could be the future of the company.
But they gotta do like they did with Rocky, where he was just so universally disliked
Yeah.
that they had to turn him, and then turning him, eventually made him into the biggest star in the company.
Yeah, make him a super heel for a while, and then when he turns face, it'll mean more.
Yes. I completely agree with that.
The only other thing I could see them trying and fucking up is having him like feud with the Miz. Because Miz is the only person who actually gets heel heat. Like legitimate super heel heat.
Yeah, like he's one of the best heels in the company.
Yeah. Oh, apparently JBL's show got canceled.
Yes, that is true.
That's all I remember from Mondays because I enjoyed the Peter Rosenberg
The
thing,
Rosenberg thing, yeah, I
hell
enjoyed
of a
that
lot
too.
more. Yeah, I'm telling you, man, you gotta watch that, and what you have, but you gotta watch Talking Smack.
Yeah.
Did you watch it this week?
Yes.
Yeah, that show just gets better and better and better.
I really appreciated Corey Graves' like blunt honesty on that show.
On
On the AJ versus Shane thing.
what? Okay, what exactly? That was on Talking Smack.
No, on the Rosenberg
Okay.
thing.
That I don't remember because I remember there was
He
something else that I
basically
was.
said he's like not excited to see them wrestle,
Okay, yeah,
and
okay.
that basically they could use AJ better.
There was something else that I was very surprised that they brought up too.
Oh, the Montreal Screwjob thing.
The porno. There was something else. But that too, yeah. But there was something else. I was like, wow, I can't believe that they brought that up. It was something like where they talked about could it have been done better, or I don't think it was Charlotte losing. I don't remember what it was, but it was something I was like, huh, that's kind of
Yeah, they
interesting.
did talk about though Charlotte losing her pay-per-view streak.
Yeah, but I'm trying to fuck, I'm gonna have to watch it again and tell you next week.
But I
in
do
general,
enjoy that show.
Yeah, that definitely hits the mark in me.
Oh yeah.
Like that's the kind of stuff that I want to talk about. I want to hear about people in the company talking about outside the company stuff.
Yes.
Or in the company stuff, I should say. Like, I want to hear them shoot on things, what they really think about things.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean, I really like Corey Graves in all things Corey Graves. And here's something. Did you know that Sami Zayn was in the company while Corey Graves was wrestling?
No.
Because I was watching the Gravest matches, which is a lot of like the Undertaker match, and for some reason it's Corey Graves versus Sami Zayn is the final one. It says Corey Graves, and in parentheses the T for Gravest.
Oh my god.
But I was like, holy shit! I was like, I could actually watch a Corey Graves match, see what the hype is about.
I've only seen very few.
Yeah, I haven't seen many.
But
I mean, it's a
apparently
shame.
he was like a really big thing. They wanted to make him the face of NXT
Yeah,
before
And I
all
like
his
his-
injuries.
and I just like his tattoos on his knuckles. Stay down.
Yeah,
I think
that's
that
cool.
that just says a lot for somebody's character when that's tattooed on your fucking fingers.
Oh yeah, I completely agree with that. All right, now SmackDown. Were your thoughts on SmackDown this week?
I'm a little bit more excited for SmackDown than Raw.
Yeah.
But again, it's when the high point is AJ throwing Shane McMahon through a window to set up an angle when it makes no sense that they had Shane was the one who wanted him to keep his title. His title shot to begin with. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think that it's a poor match, poorly put together.
And it almost feels like it's like, hey AJ, we don't really have anything else for you, so you're gonna fight Shane.
Yeah, and I think he is I think it's kind of like when they wanted CM Punk to fight Triple H, and Triple H, Punk was
You
like,
took the
no.
words right out of my mouth.
It's like they feel like that should be some kind of an honor.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it bothers me because Shane can't even throw a fucking punch.
And what did they say? Matt Bloom say on
Vince has no respect
the
for a
Breaking
man who
Ground
can't throw
show.
a punch.
Yeah, and his own kid can't even do it.
Well, Vince can't throw a punch.
No.
They do the same thing. I'm not a wrestler. I could throw a better punch than that.
Yeah. Lance said that the
Go ahead.
best knuckle tattoo that he's ever seen was a big fat Indian woman with fart on her knuckles.
I'd love to meet that woman.
That's a good one.
Did he ever ask her what fart meant? Or
Yeah,
why?
I'm curious now too.
Like, how a big fat Indian woman of all people ended up with the word fart on her hand. Like, bro, you can't end the story there. Like,
Yeah, it's
that's
like,
the
continue
beginning
the
of the story.
story.
That's the preamble to the story. Like, that's episode 1.
Yeah, there you go.
So there's more I need to know about this fucking Indian lady. Is she Indian, like Indian, like bibbidi bobbidi boo Indian, or is she like,
Like a Hindu
Like-
lady.
whoa, that's bibbidi bobbidi boo, Hindu. Or is she
Lance pulled a you. He said, "I'll give you more next week."
all right, I'm gonna remember this. I don't remember watching wrestling. It's so funny because I messaged Mike on, I messaged Joey on Tuesday. I said, just so you know, I'm watching SmackDown. So when we talk on Friday and I tell you that I don't remember it, I am not bullshitting you. Like, I'm actually watching it. And what was the first thing I said to you before this morning?
I completely forgot.
Yeah, hey, remember when I told you to remind me that I watched SmackDown? Yeah, I have no idea what was on it.
Oh, and Lance said it was the feather kind of Indian.
Okay, that makes it less intriguing. Because the fucking Hindu with the word fart on her, like, I don't know how a fat Hindu lady gets the word fart on her hand.
The one,
I mean,
Yeah, go
Native
ahead.
American, she could be like, she could be really fast, so she could be like fast like fart, wind like fart. That could be like her like Native American name.
that's very possible. All right, I'm trying to think. The one thing I do remember from SmackDown was the really cool segment with Randy Orton and Bray Wyatt.
Yeah, but I'm not sold on this fucking match at all.
Yeah.
Just because I think so much better could have been done
Yes.
with Harper.
Did you actually read the thing what Harper said that about that he doesn't want to be in the family anymore if it came to that?
Yeah, and I liked his answer as to why, that he'd walk through airports and people would be like, "Hey, it's Bray Wyatt or Eric Rowan." Nobody knew who he was.
Yeah, that's messed up.
Well, I could just also understand that though. You put so much work in trying to be an individual, and then like nobody knows who the fuck you are.
Yeah, that's pretty bad. All right, Lance gave in. He said, I'll give in to the story. I seen this lady on the bus. She noticed me, and I saw her tattoo. She got up, started laughing, showed me the tattoo, walked off the bus, farted, and laughed.
That's the best story that I've ever heard in my life. I want to meet the people fucking Lance meets, bro. He has the best stories.
Yeah, he really does. When I was getting back to Bray and Orton, what I really liked was that the promo Bray cut where it's like how do I want to say this? Like it was like a more darker version of him, I guess you would say.
Yeah. No, I agree. Fully.
Yeah, like I don't know where they're going with it, but I'm at least like intrigued. I just don't know if him and Orton can have a really good match.
I mean, I don't think Orton can really have a bad match. I'm not a fan of a lot of his matches, but I know he doesn't put on terrible matches.
I think he's good in the ring. It's just his personality does like nothing for me.
Yeah. No, I've heard a lot of things about him that like he won't give 100% at times, but I don't think that was going to be a problem with him at Mania.
No, because I've heard on several occasions that he's been looking forward to working with him.
I mean, Bray's a good fucking talent, man. I don't think a lot of people realize how good Bray really is.
I think it's because how do I want to like the people are spoiled with all like the fancy like wrestling moves now. And Bray really doesn't like have to do that.
Yeah, no, I understand what you mean. Immediate, yeah, 1,000,000%.
And like Lance just said, what the fuck? Why did Shane show up so late to work? He should have got fired. He didn't show up till like less than an hour in the show.
You know what? I don't get, and I'm pretty sure I didn't go back to really do like a ton of investigative journalism on it, but he shows up at the end. His shirt is all torn. I don't remember his shirt being torn.
Yeah, me neither.
AJ. So it's like, did they tear it in the back to make him look worse? I really think that's what they did.
That's very possible. Sander in the chat says Orton is at his best when he's a heel.
Absolutely. Randy Orton should never be a babyface.
Like, I can remember the one time I actually enjoyed Orton was when he was like punk kicking everyone, like the build up to Triple H, like when he punk kicked Stephanie and Vince.
Well, Vince and then handcuffed Triple H and then kissed Stephanie.
Yeah. That was awesome. Man.
Yeah, he's a heel. Like, he wrestles like a heel. That's why he's terrible as a babyface, because he doesn't change his style. That's the thing with Randy. Nothing, other than the fact that he has more tattoos, nothing has changed about him.
No.
Same gear since he was the Legend Killer since forever. Nothing has changed.
Yeah. I will say, the one head scratcher, and we talked about this off air, was, I mean, I'm glad that it's different, but it was the Usos and American Alpha in the main event.
Yeah, I like the fact that they're getting attention because I think Alpha is fantastic. I think the Usos are very underrated.
Yes.
But I think it was just, it felt very out of place, like just thrown in there. Now, granted, they've been doing a better job building up this feud, but that's only because the Usos are the challengers. Like, we're never going to hear about them again.
No. And I still like their gimmick of, like, their Samoan kind of like gangsters, I guess you would say.
Yeah, like urban people. I love it because it doesn't feel like a gimmick.
Yeah. Like
they may act a little bit more tough,
like
but
it's like someone you could legitimately see like walking down the street.
Yeah, that's fucking Brooklyn right there. Yeah, that's Brooklyn. That's not a gimmick. Like that's people I know in my neighborhood.
Right. I'm really trying to remember what else happened.
I can't tell you. I really don't remember.
Yeah. That goes to tell you right there.
I'm trying to think of. Did anything happen with the women?
They
set up like now. All the women are gonna. Alexa Bliss has to defend her title against all the women on the female roster, which I think is like 3 people.
Yeah, they had a match. I'm trying to remember what it was. It was something with Mickey James.
Yeah, Mickey went against.
Well,
Was
either
it a
way,
jobber?
What they've been doing with her, that's strange too.
Unless we're just so used to them bringing, like, this is something else that I'm thinking about. We're so used to bringing old people back and hot-shotting them instead of just bringing them back as workers, as a normal contracted worker. And
Okay,
I think that's what.
not to cut you off, but thank you, Sander, in the chat. That's what it was. Miz cut a killer promo on Cena.
Oh, that's every week though. That's almost getting to the point where that's so good that it gets overlooked because it's just part of SmackDown every week. He's fucking fantastic.
Yeah, and I know you've always been a Miz guy. I personally have not, but I've really enjoyed him in the last year, I would say.
Yeah, I had a friend of mine message me, and he's like, "Remember when you were all into the Miz, saying that the Miz was, awesome and everything and great?" And I said, "Yeah." He said, He's like, "I finally see what you saw then." He's like, "I really want to go back and watch some of his old stuff now with his new light to see what you saw back then." I said, "Man, he's great. He's fucking fantastic for a guy who came from a reality TV show."
Yeah, from as far as he's come. Yeah, I completely agree with that.
But then, that's another argument you can make. Nobody's born in a wrestling ring. Everybody has a life before wrestling. So who's to say whose life path is better? Like, you know what I mean? From this to a wrestler, well, they were either from nothing to a wrestler, from a second job to a wrestler, from, a career to a wrestler. I mean, people do this. Football player to a wrestler. I mean, so, like, I guess that's another thing. Like, we shouldn't always judge where people came from.
Yeah, no,
Trish
that's
Stratus
true.
was fucking terrible.
Lance even says in the chat that he was never been a Miz guy, but he's turned me into a fan, and he has many years left.
Yeah, since August, he's just been on point since those Talking Smack things with Daniel Bryan, him and Daniel Bryan. But it's just, they gave him a mic, they let him talk, and I love WWE's blurring the lines. I couldn't believe he let them bring up that contract, that 75-page contract that Nikki supposedly had to sign to date John Cena.
Yeah, that was good.
Like, they're bringing up real life stuff, which, it makes me... Like, I don't know how true the Maurice thing is, but it very well could be.
Yeah, we don't know.
Everything else has been close enough to the truth.
Right. Sander in our chat says, do you think Cena is going to propose to Nikki at Mania?
It's not something I thought of before. I don't know where his head is. It's possible. If they were ever gonna do another, legitimate WWE wedding a la Macho Man, I could definitely see it with those two.
Yes, I completely agree with you.
But let's get away from the wrestlers for a second and get to the people. Cena was legitimately hurt by his ex-wife. Regardless of why they divorced, he had to give her a huge chunk of money. And his desire not to get married is a legitimate personal thing that's not wrestling related, that we're not privy to, that really is only between him and her, and maybe not even so her. So that's one of the few things, would they get married? I don't know. I think it would be great. I think they could do it. I don't think it would be out of place. Especially if that's her last match. And
yeah, because there's all kind of rumors that she's going to retire after this because of lingering neck issues.
So, yeah, let me say this. I think it would be a great idea. I don't know if that's where he is in his... I don't know him well enough to know his personal life, so...
I mean, I don't know, and this isn't a knock on John Cena when I say this, but if you've seen parts of the Total Bellas show or actually watched the show, he's kind of quirky.
Yeah, he's weird outside of wrestling. I mean,
like I said, I don't know if that's really how he is, or they had him play that up.
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think he would do it at WrestleMania. I think it would be he had proposed prior, but I don't think John Cena, the human being, would pull out a ring and propose to Nicole Garcia in the middle of the ring. So, do I think the real people would do it? No, I don't think he would surprise her. Do I think that they could do it for story and stuff like that? Whether it be a legitimate engagement that happened prior that they're reenacting in the ring for the world to see as if it was real, I don't think it would be bad. So, I hope that makes sense.
Yeah, yeah. No, that makes sense. All right, 205 Live. What did you think of it this week?
I like the fact that we had another match where you can kind of pull somebody aside and say, "Hey, give this show a watch," and you're gonna feel like they're gonna walk away a fan. Oh, that's what they were talking about on. Perfect. Corey Graves said. It was either Corey Graves or Layfield said it. They were talking about 205 Live. I think it was Corey who said it. And he goes, you got Alicia Fox standing over there. Like, you got the best talent in the world. And you have Alicia Fox standing there eating flowers. He's like, I don't know what they're doing on that show.
Yeah, that makes a very, very valid point.
That's what I was like, whoa. Because that was straight. There was nothing hidden there.
That was a
He's
shoot.
Like, no, you got some of the best talent in the world, and you have Alicia Fox standing there eating flowers.
Yeah.
That's all he had to say. So
I will say this was probably one of the best 205 Lives they've done since the show started.
Yeah, between that and the other one where they had where they had
Gallagher.
yeah, and they had the other 5-man or 6-man match where the crowd was chanting, this is awesome after a SmackDown taping.
Yeah, and they had some really cool spots in that match.
Yeah.
Like where they let Tony Nese destroy that little like ring bell area where Austin Aries was, and shit like that.
Yeah.
It's just I think he can really help the cruiserweights kind of get more recognition, because he's more of a name.
I just think that WWE wouldn't have to do much to really get them over if they just gave them the right time of day.
Yes. Although this is just me being nitpicky, I don't care for Austin Aries as a babyface. He, to me, is like a legitimate, like, badass heel.
Yeah. Yeah,
that's just my taste.
The only time that I ever liked him as a babyface was when he did the Option C in TNA.
Yes.
There's very limited times where I've liked Austin Aries as a face, but no, he's a heel. Like, he's the greatest man that ever lived.
Yeah.
You can't have that as a fucking babyface gimmick when you walk around telling people you're the greatest man that ever lived and you walk around with a fucking cape on.
Yeah.
You can't be a babyface and wear a cape. It didn't work for Neville.
I'm actually very excited for their match. If they're given enough time, which they should have, they will tear the house down.
Yeah. No, I agree fully.
The other thing that interested me about this one was Drew Gulak losing a good match to Mustafa Ali, but actually cutting like a little promo afterwards that he's like, I'm not the problem, 205 Live is the problem, and kind of leaving. So I don't know if they're like going somewhere with him after that or what.
Yeah,
like they've intrigued me.
I think it's hard to get everybody in a new division over, but I don't think WWE is doing enough to get the division in and of itself over to get to even get a lower guy, because it's hard because you don't want to have a jobber yet in a brand new division.
No, absolutely. And me and you have talked about this. I've said Drew hadn't won a match since the CWC.
See, but then there's another thing that we care about wins and losses. You know, I mean, Gulak goes in there and looks amazing every time he works. He makes
Right,
his opponent
I
look
know,
really
I
good.
know.
And it comes down to, because isn't he still very heavily involved with Evolve, or not at all anymore?
No, not at all. He's
I
full
wonder if he's
time
winning
WWE. I wonder if he's doing like training stuff down in NXT because that's what they originally wanted him for.
And that he's in there working with guys to try to get the best out of them?
Yeah,
It's possible that that's what he's doing in 205.
yeah, because that's what they didn't want to originally sign him, I believe, full time, and just wanted him as more of a trainer.
But he was with Evolve.
Yes, he was.
Yeah, I think he's one of the people who is going to have a job for a long time because of their relationship with Gabe.
Oh yeah,
You know,
I completely agree with that.
I'm pretty sure he knew where his character was going to be going in the very beginning.
Yeah, that's very possible. All right, NXT. What did you think of the show this week?
I told you, I really didn't see much of it. It was a job match with Authors of Pain, and I really don't care what's going. What was it, the Ely brothers again?
Yes.
So maybe I did see parts of it, and then turned it off when I saw the fucking Ely brothers again.
Yeah, they got squashed.
That's all that they ever do, is they get fucking squashed.
And then Hero wrestled Rude
Yes.
for the title, which I thought was pretty good.
Yeah, I understand he has a fucking issue and stuff, but he just looks like a fat mess. I mean, I know he works. He's a great worker. Chris Hero's a fantastic worker.
Yeah,
You
like
know,
I
and-
messaged you earlier. I was like, dude, they made him wear a T-shirt.
No, he does that.
Oh,
He
does
was
he?
doing that. Yeah, he was doing that while even when he was on the Indies. That's why it was the exact same color as his tights. It was the Dream Team logo.
Gotcha.
I've seen him with the Nuggets, the old Denver Nuggets.
Yeah.
I think I've seen him with the Knicks because I know he wrestled Kimber Lee, who was just signed by the WWE, and he was wearing, I think it was the Nuggets one. But it was with the shirt also, and that was an indie show.
Right. Dino's talking about how they're ruining Noam Dar, and Lance was agreeing. He said, "What have they done to him?"
Oh, I think it's fun. I say this every week. He's one of the best on the planet. He's so young that he could get better. And they have him in a love story with Alicia Fox.
I hate it.
Yeah, he's turned into a joke. He's a sexual predator who says Fox funny. That's his gimmick. He's a sexual predator
that's why
who
Vince
says Fox.
makes him say it, because he thinks it's funny. Or at least that's
didn't
what
think-
I've heard.
I didn't think Vince had anything to do with 205 Live.
I don't know.
Yeah, I really didn't think Vince had anything to do with that.
But
I thought that was all a product of Triple H and
it could
Regal.
be.
Because they're the ones who did the tournament.
Right. Dino is also saying to get Dar back home, and he's hoping they don't mess up Nixon Newell.
When did they sign Nixon Newell?
Yeah, I wasn't aware that they had signed him either.
I love that chick. A, she's like the prettiest girl I've ever seen in my life. And B, she wrestles the exact same way any man wrestles. She's fantastic. I watch her in WCPW when I can.
Lance said that him and Dino saw Noam Dar when he was in the UK against Hero, and Noam Dar wouldn't give up, so Hero basically killed him.
That's funny.
Dino said, yeah, she signed. She's going to be there after Mania.
Huh, that's interesting. I thought... What did I hear? Oh, that's right. That she signed... But I think she signed around the same time as Kimberly.
Yes, there was
But then-
quite a few girls signed.
But they already reported, like, Heidi Lovelace is now Ruby Riot, and
Yeah.
Kimberly already debuted, and then that chick who used to be, what the hell was her name? Not Bertha Faye, Roxy Lottalove.
Yes. And then they signed Crazy Mary Dobson, and she was on TV, I think, once under a new name.
Yeah,
I
they've
think it was
signed
one
them.
time.
Yeah, there's a couple of them though you could put right on TV, and that's like Heidi Lovelace, Kimberly. I think you could put right on TV.
Yeah. I gotta say, like, we had talked about Bobby Roode and his matches. I thought he's gotten better.
Yeah, absolutely.
Like, they're not as... Like, his first one was kind of... Like, when he first came in was like, eh. But then he's brought it after that.
Dean, I'm sitting here googly-eyed. He sent me a picture of him in the ring with her. She's so pretty. She's such a pretty lady. I mean, I don't know,
Lance is asking, are we done with the Hall of Fame people? Nobody else?
Supposedly the Warrior Award is the last one they announce. See, I heard that William Regal had been rumored, but I don't know who leaked that, like where that rumor came from, before people got behind it, because, I can leak out that they're going to put Zach Gowen in as an inspirational award. If I get enough people sharing it on Twitter, it may become news, because now it's like, oh, now they're not. I don't know where that actually came from, but I think Regal should be like the headliner one year.
Yeah,
I think Regal's a hell of a lot bigger than people give.
And let him go in next year.
I think he should just be the headliner. I think there's a lot of big names this year. I think because he's alive, and I think he's the greatest guy to never win a world title.
Yes, I can agree with that.
And he's by far my favorite British wrestler of all time. Like, everything about him, like when he just fight as a heel, just everything, his mannerisms, the way he'd move in the ring, the way he'd walk in the ring.
Yeah.
The way he'd sell, like he could sell like a scared, not like a scared heel, but like the way he'd kind of flail around when he'd get hit, like he was really taking damage. He just was fucking mean and like what a bad guy should be.
Yeah, like the snarl and...
When he was calling himself just villain, when he had villain on his tights, like that's what he was the textbook definition of a villain. And that's what I love about Pete Dunne. You'll look at him, he just looks like a bad English man. Like, he's not a good guy. He's a bad man.
I always remember the first time I saw Regal was probably in like 94 when he wrestled Flying Brian.
See, that was too British for me. That was too much of like a caricature at that time.
Right.
When he was Lord Steven Regal, like that to me was too much of a caricature.
Right, I got you.
When he was in WWE, when he became King of the Ring, he had all that caricature, but he was just a proper British gentleman.
Yes.
But just a bad guy. There was no gimmick. Like, he reminded me of any English guy that I knew, but with a bad attitude.
Yeah, basically. Lance is saying Kurt Hennig was the best for him that never won a world title.
He never won an NWA world title?
He won the AWA world title.
I mean, I guess I won't consider, I guess it's not one of like the big ones, but I don't think Regal won any world title. I don't think there was any company that ever put a world title on him.
And Sanders says for him it was Piper.
I can see that. But Piper had like a ridiculously small amount of matches in his career. It was so much less than you would think.
Yeah. That's a good one too, Dino. Even though Rude won the WCW title, he said Rick Rude or Ted DiBiase for him.
See, but I think they both won alternate world titles. But yeah,
I know Rude won the WCW title.
Yeah,
because I remember that. I remember he had it and then lost it to Sting, and then they wrestled in Japan, and that's when he got hurt. I think it was like 94. Somewhere in there.
I'm trying to see if I could find it, but...
Well, yeah, Davey Boy's won too.
Yeah.
There's another guy that needs to go in the Hall of Fame. Waited far too long. I was just happy to see Rick Rude. Did you actually see what Joey Ryan was saying about Rick Rude on Twitter?
No.
He actually wrote, he's like, if everybody could stop with the Rick Rude, like, video clips and references, that would be great. So people couldn't realize that I blatantly ripped him off.
That's crazy.
Yeah, I got a good chuckle out of that. Now, go ahead.
I don't know how true this is, but apparently he's had like 140 total matches in his life.
How many?
140.
That's it?
Roddy Piper.
Holy cow.
And these are like, pretty sure these are like house shows. MSG show, Superstars of Wrestling taping, WWF live event, WWF live event. Yeah, bro, Roddy Piper has like 150 matches in his entire career.
That's crazy.
And this follows All Japan, JCW, NWA, PWG, WCW, Wrestle Reunion, WWE, WWF, WWF. And then it's breaking down between pay-per-view and non-pay-per-view.
Yeah.
What his win-loss is. And this is IWD, Internet Wrestling Database, so this is pretty legit.
Oh, yeah, I usually go to them.
It's 89 wins, 12 draws, and 38 losses in his entire career. That was like a single year for Ric Flair.
Yeah. That's crazy to think about.
I don't know how much I believe that. They say he only had one match in the NWA, Piper.
Yeah, I find that hard to believe. Like Dino said, and how many of those were a sellout?
Oh, you're right.
Yeah, like Lance just said, he was in Portland wrestling, Vancouver, Puerto Rico, so...
Yeah, I guess it's not counting all of that then.
Yeah, I don't know how they do it, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no, I'm just... Because I remember looking at it a while ago, and it was so... like, weirdly low that it's just something that always stuck in my head. But you're right, because he did wrestle up in Canada, and there's none of that is here.
Right. Did you, by chance, watch Impact last night?
I actually I watched a little bit of it, and I'm skipping through it to see if I could find what I thought was going to be Mario Bokara and Fallah Bahh, but apparently it didn't air last night.
No, I don't think it did.
So I watched the new LAX.
Which I thought was really cool.
Who's the chick?
Oh, God, I forget her name.
She looked like she had a potato. Like, she has the Great Khali shaped face. She has, like, the potato chip face. But I was like, all right, cool. Like, a new chick. Like, that's how a wrestler should be.
Yeah, the other two guys are, if you're familiar with East Coast Wrestling, they're in CZW, and I can't remember the other one as the tag team EYFBO. Angel Ortiz and Mike Dragic.
Is it Dragic or Drastic?
I'm not sure.
Because I think it's Drastic, just spelt funny, but I could be completely wrong.
But they're really good workers.
I saw the bullshit with he had to give the title back.
Yes.
So I saw that. I kind of skipped past the EC3 promo. I didn't really care much about the Tyrus match.
Nope.
At all. So I skipped past that.
The thing that I was annoyed with, and this is just me, is that they had Alberto be EC3.
You know what, though? You know he fucked up, though, right? Last week?
No.
Because when he's like, I am the heavyweight TNA champion.
Ooh.
Instead of saying Impact, because last week they were supposed to drop the Impact. So on the replay last night, he says TNA again. But when they did like the package afterwards, he said just heavyweight champion. He didn't say heavyweight champion of TNA. They cut it off before he said of TNA.
Right.
I popped big for that. I was like, oh, he don't even know what company he's working for. This is going great.
Yeah, that's pretty messed up.
But hopefully next week for Falaba and Mario Bokara.
Yeah, that'll be cool.
That was really the only reason why I was watching that was because I'm so happy for them. And then I'm pretty sure the next 2 weeks is Kevin.
Right, I'm happy for the WrestlePro guys.
Yeah, man, I'm so happy for them. It's some of the
And
nicest
if that's
people
what
you meet.
Impact's gonna start doing, you got me doing it now. If Impact's gonna start bringing in like indie talent, then I'll watch. I think that's fantastic.
Yeah, no, I think it's good. I think it's going to give them a chance to get new talent. A lot of them are Global Force guys.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm not sure what they're doing with Cody Rhodes and Brandy. Maybe they realize that Brandy can't wrestle, so that's why
she
they
wrestled
did what
a
they
weird
did.
match. It was like a no contest.
Well, he came right out and said, and offered the chick money not to fight her, and then pulled her out of the ring and said he wants to fight Moose.
Yeah.
And then Rosemary came out and attacked the chick, Casey something.
I understand, Lance, where you're coming from, because he said that his issue with them is the six-sided ring.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know. I mean, I watch UFC, and that's 8 sides, so to me, it's really not that much of a difference, like, what they fight in. To me, it's what goes on within those ropes. I mean, that's me, though. I mean, I can understand some people like the original, but, you know, if the wrestling is good, that really should, like, the shape of the ring shouldn't really come too much into account. It shouldn't.
Right.
It doesn't, but you know, but
I'm
I can
just
also
curious
understand the
to-
purist.
Yeah, I'm just curious to see where they're gonna go with everything. With
So
the
am
new
I.
guys and, you know...
It just what people forget is just that it takes time. WWE is a soap opera with 30 years, history behind
Yeah.
it. You know, it's one long story. Like, can you tell me what's at one point where like you can't, like, you can literally follow at least one link all the way back to just about every storyline from Brock Lesnar and Goldberg at Mania to the first Monday Night Raw.
Oh,
Right.
yeah.
Undertaker and Damian Demento. You can follow that storyline back all the way that far.
And HBK and Max Moon.
Yeah. You can literally just, there's no single point in which there is no story to go. It's just like a soap opera.
Oh, yeah. I'm
So,
just,
I mean-
happy for indie guys to kind of get a little, I guess a little love, you call it, or like, a chance to kind of prove their worth on a big stage. Not that Impact is a huge, big stage, but it's national television.
Yeah, I agree fully. And it's like, I look at it like this. If you suddenly had enough money to start a wrestling company, you had enough money to cover, say, like 1 year of operations.
Right.
How do you get people to watch your show?
You got to get talent that's going to make people
No.
watch.
Well, you have the talent. You have, say, like, you have a decent roster of talent. You don't have the main roster, but you have talent. You don't have names, but you have good talent. How do you get people to watch your show? How do you get people to give your show a chance in the light of something like WWE?
Right,
And
I
that's-
understand what you're saying.
Like, that's what they're dealing with now. And when they're going to have super hypercritical people, they're not going to, no company is going to succeed. It doesn't matter who has the money and what talents they use, because if you get the big names, oh, look at them, they're just stealing from WWE. They're taking WWE's jobbers, the guys WWE doesn't want. But if they don't have the big names, oh, they have nobody. So who the fuck is left?
Exactly. And like Eric Bischoff said before, they need to do this in the sense of, if WWE does, let's say, A, then you try to be completely different and do B. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
You don't try to just basically be WWE light.
Or Just be a wrestling company.
Yeah.
Don't be A or B, just be yourself. And if that means that you're a little bit like A, that's fine, but don't try to mold yourself after A.
Right.
If your business model, you're a wrestling company. If you put on a production that's similar to WWE's, that's fine, so long as you're not copying what WWE does, because then exactly you come off as WWE light.
Yes.
But if WWE wants to be PG, that doesn't mean be PG-13, because they may get more money by being PG. They may get more sponsors. They may get a better time slot by being PG.
Absolutely,
So
because look at WWE now. They get major sponsors because they're PG.
Put on a better product and people will watch the show.
Exactly.
Doesn't matter what. It could be rated G. It could be fucking Bambi out there. If you make people care about Bambi enough to watch every week, like legitimately give a flying fuck about Bambi, you're gonna have something to watch. And that's the quandary they're in now. People are gonna look at Alberto Del Rio. Oh, he's WWE's garbage. I'm pretty sure he asked for his.
Yeah, he left on his own accord. They didn't get rid of him.
And he came back and then left on his own.
Yes.
People are gonna say, if Jack Swagger shows up there, oh look, they're taking WWE's garbage. No,
Jack Swagger asked to be released.
But it's like, but that's the situation right there. They're big names. I mean, don't put the strap on them immediately, but they're names that can draw some eyes to your product.
Right. That was the only reason I complained about Del Rio beating EC3 is it's like, yeah, he comes in his very first match, he technically won their world championship, then had to forfeit it back, and then beat EC3 in 2 weeks.
Yeah, the fact that EC3 had that long ass unbeaten streak, and for him to lose so quickly to a new guy, that really,
Yeah, that's what I didn't particularly care for.
Yeah, I think that was bad. I think there were other people you could have put there, but I think having him come in and win, period, was a stupid idea.
Yeah, I completely agree with that. And throwing him right in the title picture makes absolutely no sense.
No, but I mean, he's a big name. They wanted to debut him on their biggest show. Did you hear why it sounded like there was no reaction for him in the Impact Zone?
Yes, I did, because they put the wrong graphic up of his name, so they had to reshoot it.
Yeah. Originally, nobody knew he was there. Then you hear the music play, and it says Alberto Del Patron. So he comes out, he's doing his whole thing, and then somebody realizes his name isn't Alberto Del Patron. It's El Patron.
Jesus Christ.
Well, Alberto De Patron. It was the D-E or D-E-L.
Yeah, because I saw that he got like a huge reaction and went like nuts on the ramp.
Yeah, and then when they realized it, once he got to the ring, they're like, well, we have to go reshoot that, and nobody had the same reaction.
Yeah. Dino is saying that Jack Swagger is already booked to come to the UK in July.
Yeah, and he'll probably do well over there. I mean, the only name I haven't heard people really shit on being in TNA is Cody Rhodes, but that's because he's shopping himself everywhere.
Well, yeah, he's smart. He's the only guy that in one calendar year wrestled WrestleMania. Is it Bound for Glory was Impact's big pay-per-view?
Yep.
Bound for Glory and Wrestle Kingdom all in 1 year.
PWG Bola.
That too.
And Ring of Honor Final Battle.
Yes, thank you.
It was all the big major companies in their world in their top shows of the year. So, yeah, he's the only person to do that. And I think there was something else, because it was something else too. Because then he's the Next Gen champion for Global Force.
Yes. He's
the WrestlePro Internet champion. He's a member of the Bullet Club.
Yeah.
He's done this in 1 calendar year.
It's crazy to think about it, and I agree with you, Lance. Lance says that he really likes the American Nightmare name for him.
So do I. I think it was brilliant. First time I heard that, I was like, how come nobody ever thought of that before?
Yeah. Dean is saying, and that's interesting, that Rey Mysterio is charging $40,000 for appearances over in the UK.
Pretty sure he was charging 20 grand when he was first let go here in the States.
Well, have you seen him lately?
I saw him a while back, and he was jacked as fuck. But that
I was
that
like,
one picture.
wow, somebody's
where-
taking some juice.
Yeah, where he had on the breathing mask.
Yeah,
The training mask. Yeah, that was the last picture I've seen.
He kind of
But
looked
yeah,
like
no.
Bane in a way.
Yeah, that's exactly what I mean. They're designed exactly like that. It's meant to restrict the amount of oxygen you have to help your cardio.
Yeah, I was
Like-
just like, wow, the dude is like super jacked the last I had seen him.
Yeah, but what the fuck were we just talking about?
Impact.
No.
And
Anyway,
with
it's-
Cody Rhodes, how he's
Oh yeah, no.
basically been everywhere this year.
Yeah, I think the American Nightmare is perfect because he's the complete opposite of his father, who was the American Dream. Like, his father was fat and ugly. He's, fit and good looking. And now he's still a Rhodes. That's still his father. So, he doesn't have to heal up on his family. But the American Nightmare is just, perfect. I don't think that there's a better gimmick. And I love his theme song because if you ever listen to the lyrics, that's him right there. Like, that's written about him.
Oh yeah, and I like him better as a heel. That's just me.
Cody Rhodes won me over the WrestleMania. Funny enough, you brought him up when him and Mysterio wrestled each other.
Yes.
To me, that was Cody's coming out party as far as when I realized, like, holy shit, this kid got a future. I think he had knee pads on shortly afterwards. And my hope for his future kind of went down once he put on knee pads.
Because he had that old school wrestler's look without the knee pads.
Yeah, I like what he's doing now. And I think that they should have let him do a lot of this in WWE.
Like, they really dropped the ball with him.
Yeah, I think some of their talent, they really need to let the leash go a little bit. I mean, you got the son of Dusty Rhodes, the guy who does your promo class, and you're not going to let him freely go on the mic.
Yeah, it's crazy.
And his father is Dusty Rhodes. I mean, Vince, are you aware that his father's Dusty Rhodes, like, the Dusty Rhodes, the American Dream Dusty Rhodes, the guy with the black polka dots, all that guy, that's his dad. The guy with the Hard Times promo.
Yeah.
Why does he not have a mic, Vince?
Lance said here that on a podcast, Cody said that WWE made him wear those knee pads, and he was not happy about it.
Oh, I wouldn't doubt it. They're going so far out of the way to try to, for a while, to try to get people, like, to save them from themselves. But isn't Jack Gallagher wrestling with no knee pads? And Cesaro have just a tape around his
Yeah.
legs for a while?
Yes.
So I guess that shit kind of went out the window.
Yeah, just
It
little
l-
annoying things like that.
It looks weird, though, I will say. A fucking male with no knee pads on, it just really looks like that they're in underwear and boots.
Yeah, I can agree with that.
And that gets onto that part of YouTube that I try not to look at too much.
Yes, exactly. All right, everybody. We're going to get out of here for tonight. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, give us a thumbs up, all that good stuff. And we will see you back next week. Have a good night, everybody.